So anyway, I've started working on this. So I've started to plane this body thickness down so I can put a cap on it. That's what I finally decided what I'm going to do. I'm putting a cap on it because I want a different control layout and different pickups. So what I've done is I've taken my router and I've created a sled out of just some 1x pine that I had sitting around. And after some experimenting, basically what I did was I built a platform. It's screwed right to the table right at the moment so it doesn't move. But made a platform, and then this neck has a hole in it, so I put a screw through it to hold it, and then a couple of wedges that I made out of some 1x with some nails in them so it won't move. And everything that I've seen, everybody goes like this. Well, this really is working out really well if I go like this. I've already dropped it down a little bit, so I'm going to show you a little bit, and then we'll mostly probably get fast forwarded until I'm ready to introduce the cat. Alright, so what I got now is I got these two pieces of southern yellow pine from Lowe's. I can't book match them because they're only 3/4 of an inch thick, which is fine, but I'm going to plane them down a little bit, make sure they're both the same exact thickness, and then seam them center line however I choose to arrange these. So I just don't want them to look like crazy different, but it's going to be different, which is fine. So that's an easy way to thin down a body, I can tell you that. Not a huge fan of it, honestly. I wish I just had a planer, but because I'm going off the trueness of the back of this body and routing it, so it's not exactly an 1.1 over here and exactly an inch and an eighth over here. It's a little off, but that's good enough for this because I'm going to make it a carved top. So once I decide how I want to put this on here, I'm going to glue it on here. I'm probably going to make a template first for this, mostly because this hole where the jack goes, I don't want to have to, I mean I might be able to go around it, but I don't want to hit the holes and stuff. So I think I'm probably going to make a jig first, and then go from there. Pickups are on order. They finished building them. Alright, so I bought some of these sanding wheels that you can put in a drill press and use. I bought this little kit off of Amazon. Comes with a 1.5 inch, 1 inch, 3/4, and half. and it comes with 3 sets of sanding discs. They're not discs, rolls, whatever the hell they're called. Sleeves, sanding drum and sleeve set. There, if I read that, I would have known what it was. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to buy a spindle sander, but they're like 140, 150 bucks. I'm like, there's gotta be a cheaper way, and there is. Obviously, you got a drill press. I got this drill press for a steal. Never actually. There I go, dropping shit. I've never owned a drill press. My grandfather always had one on the farm, and we used it, but like I never even know how the hell they worked. But this is a 5-speed. They're simple. Anyway, well, I already tried this out, and I forgot to film it, so I just figured I'd tell you what I did and show you what I did. So, if you don't know how to use a drill press, it's based off of a pulley system, and it has 2 pulleys in there that are stepped in diameter from smallest to largest, and then they're flipped over. So if you get it to the largest and the largest, it spins the most, and then you actually can utilize that a little bit differently. This says 5 speeds, but you can actually get a couple extra out of it if you do it right, but it's not necessary. 5 different size pulleys. So anyway, set it up, and you turn it on, and just go against the spin. So yeah, it does quick work, and it was cheap. I mean, this isn't the greatest. I'm definitely gonna want to use some hand sanding when I'm done, but this will get it down to where it's pretty close, and I can follow this, and then I can hand sand it. That way, it's the actual thickness of the wood, not the finish that's on it already. So I'm gonna work this some more, and we'll go from there. And then, like I said, I'm going to probably build a template. And then I'm going to cut this out. This will be the cap. Can't really see the lines, but this is going to be the cap, and this is just pine. I'm going to do one of my favorite finishes. I'm going to do a sushi bond finish. So I'm going to carve some bevels into this, and then I'm going to strike it with some heat and enhance that grain, and then I'm going to brush it back, use different brushes to get it to give more depth, and then I'm going to stain it. I kind of like the idea of red, so I think I'm going to stick with that. And we'll go from there. Like I said before, I have a lot of woodworking experience. I also basically grew up on a farm. My grandfather was a dairy farmer, and my other grandfather was a truck driver, so I was around a lot of tools when I was younger. So I kind of also got a lot of makeshift tooling going on in my history. And so I was thinking about this. Like I said, I got to put this top together, and I don't have any bar clamps. And I'm kind of a use what you got kind of guy when it comes to this stuff, because I don't really want to spend a lot of money, and if it works, I was thinking about this platform that I made for the Marauder sled, which is now going to get doubled into a wedge vise, essentially. So I put down some tape, so if any glue seeps out, which probably it will, it doesn't get adhered to the wood. Hopefully it'll come off easy enough. And if I take anything off, I just got to scrape off a little bit of that tape. So, what I'm going to do, and I've prepped all this before filming to make it much shorter and whatnot. So what I did was I traced out my outline of the body onto this. Sorry, the lighting in here sucks in this direction. So I know where my center line is because it's going to be these two pieces of wood. So I'm just going to line these up as best as possible. That way I kind of got something to see. I'm going to take essentially a cleat, put it behind this one, and a cleat behind this one, and then I'm going to screw those down. Screw just one down. Take one of these wedges, put it in there to where it's snug and where I want it. Then I'll screw down this cleat and then take this wedge and wedge it in here. That'll get it to push together in all four directions all at once. I'm then going to take this piece of plywood that I also put tape on, put on top of the body, put on top of the piece, and I need some downward pressure, so weight, gravity works. I'm going to take this toolbox that's got probably about 30 pounds of tools in it, put it on there, and honestly I think that alone would be good, but just for good measure I'm going to strap it with a ratchet strap and hope for the best. I'm sure I'm not crazy. I'm sure other people have thought of this. I've seen some of this stuff before, so I mean, I didn't just come up with all this. I'm not that smart. So, let's try some sandpaper and rough this side up a little bit, just to give it a little extra hold. Maybe glue either needs a mechanical connection or a chemical connection, and this is wood, so you need a mechanical connection. So the mechanics of this is going to be, and it does actually have a little bit of, I think glue does have a little bit of chemical reaction. I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist. But alright, so let's at least set this cleat first. I need at least one point of contact when we first put this together and set it down. if this worked. Perfect. Perfect. A little bit of sanding needed. Get rid of the glue on the back and voila. One step closer. Definitely have to get some more clamps though when I clamp this to the body. So that's awesome. I'm pretty happy with that. It's pretty flat too, so should work great. Perfect. What's going on? So, this is where we're at. This is my concept so far that's in my head. Probably can't read my chicken scratch. This says contour, so like this area through here into here, a little bit down here in the lower horn, and down the bottom piece is all contour. This is going to be a pick guard area, possibly, not 100% sure, and then this is going to be like a metal control plate. So that's my concept so far. So I didn't record this, but I cut this out on a bandsaw. So this is close to the outline of this. So now I have to glue this onto this. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Onto the neck. Like I said earlier, I was going to reshape this. I initially thought about doing a 3 or a 6 in line reverse, and I think I'm past that because, like I said earlier, I think it would look weird on a double neck. So I was conversing with my boy, who's all the way over here, all the way not in this. Here he is. I was conversing with the guitarologist, Ryan, and he said we should just keep it a 6 in line. So we were looking at some necks and that I have. We put this neck on it and determined really fast that we were good with the decision of not doing a 6 in line. So I pulled this one out, which is kind of like a PRS headstock. And he was like, that would look really good. And we looked at it, and it does. So we're going to do a PRS kind of looking headstock. We're going to switch it a little bit, even though PRS kind of screwed us all on that and switched it on the Strat style thing, that John Mayer Strat thing. So I guess they kind of own them both now, but I'm just going to flip it. I'm going to do something a little bit different with it, and this is what we've came up with, is this look. It looks a little odd right now, but a lot of that's your perception because of the holes that are in it. I'm going to fill those holes in cut different, or put the holes so you have a much better strength, a much better string pull, straighter string pull. So maybe bring these holes in a little bit.
Hello everybody, it's me.
And me again. Alright, so it's Monday night. We're working on the neck tonight. We sanded it down so we could see what it looks like. Like I said, I wanted to reshape this. I had initially thought about doing a 6-in line, but it just doesn't look right on a double cut in my opinion. Some people think otherwise. There's some out there, they look cool. But myself and my son Ryan, who you just met, do builds quite often together where, you know, I jump ideas off of him and he comes up with stuff, and it's fun. It's good, and especially getting to be able to put it to the next generation. Why don't you come over here so I'm not just pointing at out of the camera. It's good to teach this shit to these kids so they have something to do, because if we teach them about gear and guitars, they'll never have enough money for drugs. So there's that. That's a plus. Anyway, alright, so we put this on here, and like I was thinking about doing a reverse 6-in line, and I just didn't really like the look of it. So, sorry for the noise. I pulled this neck out, which is kind of like a PRS headstock, and we really liked that. So that's what we're gonna try to achieve. I'm not gonna really copy this because it's kind of a copy of the PRS, and I want it to be a little bit different. It's not really gonna be exactly the same anyway, so PRS is not gonna put me on a cease and desist halt, so I'm not worried about that. So we drew this, which is a reverse of the standard PRS. We all know that the what's the Strat thing called? The Silver Sky. That has a reverse on it, so PRS kind of has both of them now. But this is a little bit different, but it's an ode to that. I like that headstock on a 3x3, so that's what we're going to try to achieve. I'm going to use my drum sander that I set up on my drill press. This is a 1.5 inch drum sander. I bought a kit. I think I already told you about it, yeah. And it works pretty well. It'll get it to where I want it to be, and then I'll make a template, and then I'll buzz it out with a router. So, because of the neck angle that's on this, I mounted a piece of 2x3 that I had that I actually planed down to make. I just literally planed it down to plane it down because I needed some wood shavings the other day when I was working on my workhorse. So that worked really well for mounting on this wooden platform that I have mounted on the metal platform base that comes with it, to get it up high enough to where I can do whatever I want for the most part. Might have to move to the other side, but anyway. Alright, rambling on. Let's start. Alright, so I'm getting nowhere fast with this. So, let's pause this for a moment. I might break out my jigsaw and clean this up a little bit and then use this. Alright, so I've thought this through. I'm going to use a grinder. Why? Because it's fun. Why would you cut a headstock with a grinder, Dave? Because it works.
Because you can.
Yeah, because you can. This can kind of be nerve-wracking, so sometimes you got to get yourself in the mood for it, and you know, really like think it through before you do this, because you can ruin your fucking day real quick. So all I'm really going to do though is get it close, and then I'm going to take it back to the drum sander and finish it off. So alright, ready. Wish me luck. You should wear safety glasses with this and gloves. We'll edit that part out. OSHA doesn't apply to me yet, so. grinder makes fast work, which is much further along than I would have been with just this. So I got it pretty close. Now I'm just going to smooth it out. You want it at a good angle, you know, a 90-degree angle is best. So all right. So I'm pretty happy with this. I don't want to mess with it too much further because I feel like my perception is being totally thrown off by where the holes are. So I'm going to stop here. I did do a lot more with this drum sander than I said I was going to. I said I was going to make a template and route this out, but I think I'm just going to clean this up a little bit more, and it's pretty good. This works really well. Yeah, it's a precision tool, my friends.